Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. I'm at the Boutique Design New York BDNY show at the Javits Center in New York, and I'm with Charley Knight, Vice President of Hospitality with Interface. Charley, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, Kemp. Thanks.
So this is Sunday before noon, and this show's just starting to ramp up, right?
That's right. We're waiting for the onslaught, a little after lunch probably.
Let's talk a little bit about this show, what makes it a little bit different. Most people know there's a hospitality design show in Vegas. This is the boutique show. It kind of replaced the Miami show several years ago and continues to grow in popularity. And the neat thing about this show is that most of the booths are about the same size, right?
It is. You know, when the show first started, all of the booths were relegated to 200 square feet. And it was kind of nice because everybody had the same footprint or something real close to it. And so to distinguish yourself at the show, you had to have something provocative to say or to show. And so the show has grown quite a bit, and it's a really pretty show. What you see here in the Javits Center, you have a lot of natural light still coming in, which makes a big difference in a trade hall. I think they do it right. It's a beautiful show. It's a well-curated show, and it's still relatively small. It's something that, you know, when an attendee can get through and make it through the whole show in a day if they choose, which is nice.
So the people who come here, obviously we're up here in New York, so you probably are going to get more of the core end-user brands in the hospitality business, like Marriott and Starwood, which is now one company, and Hilton. But you'll also get their specifiers, their designers, right?
You will. You'll see people from all over the country at this show, but I think one of the things that's exciting is it being so East Coast based, and with a lot of the major hotel brands now being based on the East Coast, especially down in the D.C. area, you'll see some more senior people from those brands here than you might see in Vegas. You'll see a lot of specifiers from the East Coast here as well, but, you know, generally speaking, the show's a little more laid back. It's got New York as a backdrop, which is great. So there, you know, you've got a lot of people who will make a weekend of it here. But we expect to see a lot of really great influencers over the next couple of days. And it's always a fun show for us to participate in.
So I look at your space here and I see a new product, or a product I haven't seen on the floor with Interface. Most people know you're the world leader in producing modular carpet tile. And I'm seeing LVT on the floor here. Talk about that.
That's right. So we're showing luxury vinyl tile. LVT is the first product in our new category called modular resilient flooring. So LVT being the first offering there. And what you see, Kemp, is just kind of a brand extension of what we already do. As you mentioned, we're the leader in modular carpet tile. We have a 40-year history in modular flooring. And so that's exactly what we're doing here. We're representing LVT. That is just an extension of those modules. So our luxury vinyl tile, same size, same format as our carpet. So really easy to design with, really easy to integrate with. I think one of the things that separates what Interface has done here is we have designed an LVT that is made to be married to our carpet. So we're not trying to dominate the LVT space. What we're trying to do is to really elegantly solve the challenge of where LVT and soft flooring can meet. And I think that we've done a pretty good job with that. You'll see here that the backings of the two products are basically equal, and so when you put these things together, you can do it without a transition. For the folks that we've shown it to so far, it's been a pretty provocative solution. It's been very, very well received, and we're excited to have it.
So in reality, you don't have a double flooring surface. In other words, you don't go in and do all hard surface and then throw a rug over the top of it. What you do is you create a border with LVT, and then you put soft surface in the middle, right?
That's what we've done here. I think the fun thing about this is if we were to take a look at this, if we were to pull the floor up, you'd see that all of this is installed with tactiles. So, Kemp, in essence, if you were the floor looking up at this, you wouldn't know the difference between resilient and soft because it's got a very analogous backing, and it's all installed and connected together through tactiles. It's really simple, but really easy to execute. It's solving a lot of problems. We're not adding a layer of cost, which is the thing that seems to provoke a lot of these owners.
Yeah, pricing is always a factor in hospitality. Now, let's talk about the hospitality market for a minute. Hotel space, generally been a broadloom market, and you were doing a good job of penetrating that market with your modular product, and now we're seeing some hard surface and even these upper level brands, these 4- and 5-star brands. So talk about where these major brands are going with flooring now.
Well, I think what's really going on out there is that there's so many brands out there that are trying to distinguish themselves amongst the traveling public that they're really trying to create unique experiences for the guests. And so to your point, Marriott is an example. Marriott Hotels and Resorts, kind of the flagship brand of Marriott International, has committed to using LVT in their guest rooms. Their guest likes it. Their guest likes the way it looks and feels, and the way it feels clean in a room. So, you know, there's definitely a movement towards different kinds of flooring and different kinds of flooring experiences out there for these guests. As far as the modular carpet goes, as you know, 4 or 5 years ago, there was not a lot of carpet tile used in the hospitality space. Interface is very proud to have kind of led that charge to create, this shift into acceptance of carpet tile. I think one of the things that we've really done well is we've demonstrated that through the use of designing a floor with modules, you can solve a lot of problems, a lot of design dilemmas, a lot of application dilemmas in a hotel space, and so we believe that it creates really added value for the owner. One of the things that's happened now with our integrated story of both soft and resilient modular is that it allows us again to solve some of the design dilemmas that are going on with the adoption of new flooring.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, cost is such a big factor, and as everybody knows in the business, modular is a little bit more expensive product than broadloom, but actually you've done studies to show that an installed price, you're not that much different than broadloom, right?
Yeah, and oftentimes actually you'll spend less money. One of the things that we have to do, we continually try to have this conversation, but people will ask us what's the budget price for something, and they'll be talking about the unit price of whatever the material is, when in fact you have to really be looking at what is the spend. So often, we're working on several projects right now where we've had this conversation. They'll talk about a budget price, and they're talking about a unit price, when in fact, because you're buying so many fewer units in modules, the unit price is really has no place in the discussion. It's just a part of the equation. You've got to look at the number of units purchased as well. And so, if you had indicated to me 5 years ago that Interface would enjoy the amount of success it's had in the guest room business, as well as the public space business, I would have been a little bit surprised, because we have created a market for modular product out there in all applications in a hotel, and it's because of the added value that it brings the owner.
Charlie, get your crystal ball out for a minute, because we know about trends, how things cycle. I'm guessing that Marriott's going to reverse this decision 4 or 5 years from now, because if you're talking about a cozy room where you can relax and it's quiet, don't you think that they'll look at this 4 or 5 years from now and go, you know what, it's nothing more luxury and plush than a carpeted floor? Well,
I tell you what, the thing that I think that's going to be tough about that, Kemp, is that they're asking their owners to invest. And the investment is not for 5 years. The investment, it may be for 15 years or more. And so while they may regret it, which I hope they do not, and I think that they're solving for a lot of the issues. You mentioned comfort, you mentioned acoustics. They've gone pretty much all in on LVT. And I know that they are looking to solve all of the issues that surround that. Aesthetically, it's beautiful. I think that you can bring that comfort and that warmth into a room when you do work with the right rug. And again, kind of, to our story, we don't require that you add a layer of cost or a rug on top of it. You can actually integrate our rug into the floor. So, I wouldn't be so bold as to say that they will reverse the decision. I think they'll continue to evolve and solve the problems that LVT may create. But I think they'll take their cue from the guest. And right now, the guest says they like it.
Okay. All right. Very interesting. Okay, Charlie, good to spend time with you. Hope you have a great show. Again, we're talking to Charley Knight, the Vice President of Hospitality with Interface at the BDNY show in New York. And you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.